So hi everyone, we have Shivansh Choudhary with us, and he's from Kanpur. Uh, Shivansh has bagged All India rank third in CLAT 2022. He just told me that he never expected to get a AIR3. In fact, he was expecting to get a score between 95 and 105. And in his last mock, he scored a rank that was 150. So a very interesting story. And I hand it over to Shivansh for a very important session. क्योंकि शिवांश with this session ये thousands of aspirants over the next 3 4 5 months देखेंगे and they would be really keen to know कि क्लैट प्रिपरेशन में इट्स अ वेरी डिफरेंट एग्जामिनेशन, क्योंकि मतलब ऐसा एग्जामिनेशन नहीं ना कि जो कि हमारे पास एक स्टैंडर्ड सा सिलेबस है, कॉन्सेप्ट में फॉर्मूले कर लो और क्वेश्चंस तुम्हें फाइनली बन जाएंगे। अलग बहुत सारे अलग अलग एस्पेक्ट्स पे अपन को वर्क करना पड़ता है। सो व्हाट ऑल एरियाज और व्हाट ऑल थिंग्स वर्कड फॉर यू एंड एज फार योर एक्सपीरियंस इज कंसर्न, बच्चों क्या क्या चीजें नहीं करनी चाहिए। तो मोस्टली अपना ये पूरा इंटरव्यू का डिस्कशन रहेगा। So let's get started. Introduce yourself first, and then you begin.
Hello everyone, I am Shivansh from Kanpur. I got rank 3 in CLAT 2022, and yes, this was my first attempt.
So you wrote CLAT alongside 12, Shivansh?
Yes, sir.
Did you write CLAT last year as well?
No, I did not.
No, so like 2 साल preparation करके फिर एक ही बार सीधे examination लिखा. Why you wish to do law? I mean,
well, I did not really have a lot of interest in pursuing a career in medicine or engineering.
okay.
So I thought law would be a good choice.
Okay. So right now you are looking for law as a graduation and not eventually becoming a lawyer. मतलब law as a graduation करके देखता हूँ और फिर देखता हूँ मुझे करना क्या है। Great.
Yes.
School. तो अभी like after graduation अभी कुछ plan नहीं किया है?
Not really.
Not
I'll
really.
explore my interest in law school.
ठीक है. So how was the preparation of CLAT? As in what actually worked for you across the 5 sections so that eventually you were able to make it to an All India rank 3? And I think a score of around what,
118.
118, yes.
So it was a roller coaster ride, and the most important thing during my preparation was reading a lot. That was one thing that helped me across reading all the reading sections, and to an extent even in GK. So I used to read editorials from newspapers, novels, fiction novels especially, and articles from websites like Aeon.
Okay.
So this was the most important part.
So religious reading, मतलब regular reading करना है और religiously reading करना है every day. कितना time? So were you an avid reader, Shivansh, in childhood, or you picked up?
No, I was not.
You were not?
No, I was not an avid reader. In fact, not until late 2020 did I start reading properly.
And I mean, you realized the importance of reading, and then you started reading intensively. So how much did you read? As in, what was the impact of that reading?
Usually a couple of hours for reading. That was, I guess, sufficient. And basically, reading helped me increase my comprehension skills, increase my speed. So there was better time management. It did not benefit immensely immediately, but in the last 6 months, I realized that because of all the reading that I had done over the year, my speed increased, my attempts and mocks increased. So reading coupled with just a simple mindset change helped me a lot in mocks and eventually in CLAT.
Eventually, you're able to. Reading, I think, is one component. And you said that the newspapers, which is the Hindu, or you were focused on any
Hindu
other newspaper as well?
At times and at times Indian Express as well. Not regularly, but at times.
Indian Express थोड़ा सा more readable हो जाता है ना, like more pictures. Hindu has a lot of text. What worked for you? Like apart from reading, tell me at least 5 things that every CLAT aspirant should be doing.
Previous year questions of legal reasoning.
Okay.
So even though the pattern has changed, I believe the previous year questions of legal reasoning help a lot. They helped me a lot this time. Moreover, doing maths on a regular basis, if not daily, at least 4 or 5 times a week.
So are you so were you good with mathematics Hamesha
I
se?
was decent with mathematics, but then I did not have practice of DI, so I had to do that.
Okay. And how much did you score finally?
13 in maths.
13 in maths. हाँ तो regular करते करते वो 13 in maths तक का. हाँ, so you say so reading तो है ही है, वो तो like by default है वो. The first thing that you mentioned is just solving the previous year's papers, even though pattern change was still solve the legal reasoning section of the previous year's papers. Second is focus on mathematics. Ideally should be done every day, but if not every day, at least 4-5 days in a week तो करना ही करना चाहिए. ठीक है. Next.
Moreover, the GMAT style CR questions, they're very helpful in building concepts. Even though my CR scores varied, but eventually I found that they were helpful. And apart from this, one more important thing is to not worry about your mock scores a lot because they vary. In fact, the very last mock that I gave, the very last LE mock that I gave, my score was somewhere in 80s, 87 or 88, and rank was around 150.
What was the lowest mock score?
Lowest mock scores, they dipped to as low as 60s.
60.
64 or 65, something like that. But that was 2 years back, not
that was 2 years back. And this year, Shivansh, this year the lowest one was
70s, 78, 79, something like that.
And the last mock score was in the 80s only.
Was 80s.
And what was the highest mock score? As in, ये जो पूरा variation था from 60s, 70s, 80s to ये कहाँ तक जाता था?
एक दो में 120s में आए, but the higher range was usually 110s.
110s. The average was 100 between 105 and 110.
100 and 105.
100 and 105. That was a consistent range. 100 से 105 के बीच में रेगुलरली आते थे और उसके बाद फिर ठीक है
एंड के मॉक्स में
हाँ
मतलब एंड के मॉक्स में 100 to 105 बट जैसे इस जनवरी तक तो 95 तक 95 to 100 would be the score that I used to
while talking to you, I remember a conversation I had with last year's All India Rank 9, that was Garima. While the examination was in the month of July, I believe, in 2021, her mock scores by March were in the late 60s. And she eventually made it to a score of 113 in CLAT. वही है, I mean, she also said that they vary. आप बस end तक लगे रहो तो हो जाता है, बस end तक लगे रहना बहुत जरूरी है. Cool. A lot of students get confused, Shivansh, in terms of doing GK and current affairs. बोलते हैं हम कितना करें, कहाँ से करें? Because कोई एक standard source नहीं होता जहाँ से पूरा का पूरा पेपर आएगा. And you have to ultimately believe कि यार मेरा ना वो 70-80% ही मेरे standard sources में से आएगा and मेरा 20% out of sources जाएगा ही जाएगा. So any suggestions from your side for the
So daily GK में I focused on newspapers, GK Today and Drishti IAS. I know this isn't a very recommended source, but then I focused on this because the 2020 paper was could be solved using these sources. So that was my daily source for GK. I used to devote not a lot of time initially, and in fact I did not used to revise a lot in the months of September, October 2021. In fact, it was not until March 2022 that I started revising diligently. So initially it was just 1.5 hours for GK, but then from March I had to put in an extra hour or two for revisions as well.
So do you have this kind of an image memory where you don't have to revise a lot of things multiple times and you kind of... Or
I have to revise things a lot of times to retain them. I feel so. I mean, I had revised all. In fact, even the CLAT posts, I had done them twice to ensure that I do not miss out the topics.
Miss out on anything. We miss out on the topics. So now a very interesting question is coming up, Shivansh, to you. At least 5 things that a CLAT aspirant should not do.
Panic over mock scores because they vary.
Panic over mock scores because they vary.
Moreover, not to have a very big gap between successive mocks. Like last year in June or July, one prime mistake that I made was not give any mock for a month or two. Okay. That really affected my preparation then. So that should not be a thing one should be doing. Not to give mocks every day, but still at least give them once a week.
Minimum once a week.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
a very good point that you have made, that you have to be consistent with mock writing, no matter in whatever stage in your syllabus you are. I mean, syllabus will eventually get completed over a period of time, but you'll need to like do mocks regularly so that you are in practice of solving that 42 page paper in a space of 2 hours. It's a very different kind of a paper, because it's a very different kind of a paper. Okay, a very important point. Third.
Not to skip out on topics like tones and figures of speech, because they ultimately questions on them are ultimately asked in the examination. Most of the times people do not study these topics, skip out questions on them. Even I had not done them properly until, I would say, March this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, Shivansh.
Yes. So
Yeah,
not to be.
I think we lost
Yes.
connection in between.
Yes.
So yes, third point. You're saying not to skip out on.
Not to skip out topics like tones and figures of speech, because questions ultimately
Okay.
are asked on these topics in the examination. I had not done them
Okay.
properly until this March, so thankful
Hmm.
that I did
Because there were a few questions on that, right?
questions on them.
Okay. मतलब इसमें जो माइक्रो टॉपिक्स उनको छोड़ना नहीं है.
हाँ.
ठीक है. ठीक है. Next.
Next, not to give the entire day to GK, because ultimately GK बहुत weird हो जाती है. In fact, this year I had done a lot of GK. I would say I had done topic lists, I had done CLAT post, I had done a lot of things, but still, honestly speaking, I knew only 15 to 17 questions. Rest were flukes.
Rest of flukes. Flukes as in.
बस मार्क कर दिए जो भी ऑप्शन ठीक लग रहा है भाई.
मतलब जो but यार ये भी ना, so I think one thing that it has to be understood कि मतलब तुक्का नहीं लगा, but I think कुछ तो sensible guessing होगी. सेंसिबल
हाँ,
गेसिंग होगी कि
a
मैंने ये
few
सुना है,
questions.
इसका ये आंसर होना चाहिए.
बट
आते थे
जैसे
हमने
वो
ये इसका ये
CSR
आंसर हो.
पैसेज था, CSR वाला पैसेज था, आई हैड नॉट रेड दैट एनीवेयर, बट देन आई मार्क्ड सर्टेन ऑप्शन जो मुझे लगा कि ये ठीक है, इसका ये होगा, एंड दे गॉट करेक्ट इवेंचुअली.
In fact, somebody else was also telling this similar thing, that just because focusing a lot on reading helps you diversify your thought process, or the kind of the topics that you cover as well, which eventually help you to guess the right answers. कि मतलब हाँ ये तो नहीं होगा, इन्हीं में से कुछ हो सकता है, चलो लेट मी काइंड ऑफ टेक दिस एज अ गेस. तो कहीं ना कहीं वो एक सबकॉन्शियस मेमोरी में वो याद रहता है कि यार मैंने ऐसा कुछ पढ़ा हुआ है. तो
हाँ.
आफ्टर आई सेड दैट यू हैव कवर्ड अ लॉट ऑफ सोर्सेज एंड स्टफ, तूने बहुत सारे सोर्सेज कवर किए, तूने बहुत सारी चीजें की. इवेंचुअली वो सारे सोर्सेज कवर करने से दो चीजें हुई. एक, देखो 15 17 18 क्वेश्चंस डेफिनेटली पता थे, और मे बी अनदर 10-12 क्वेश्चन तुझे सबकॉन्शियसली पता थे, बट एकदम एग्जैक्ट उस समय याद नहीं आए, बट यू स्टिल मार्क देम एंड यू गॉट अ फ्यू ऑफ देम राइट. ठीक है. एंड
Just this, I think these are the main points.
these are the main points. So can we revise them? The first one was, तो खैर अपने जहां से सेशन चालू ही किया था, like extensive reading. ठीक है.
Extensive
Second
reading,
was
focusing on previous year questions of legal reasoning.
focus on previous year questions of legal reasoning.
Thirdly, practice the GMAT style questions of critical reasoning.
Yes.
Uh, be regular with mathematics.
Be regular with mathematics. Be regular with mocks. You have
Be
to
regular
be
with mocks, not to
be
have
regular with mocks.
big
Keep
gaps
writing
between.
them. Yes. Keep writing
Not
them.
to worry a lot about your mock scores because they vary.
Yes.
And
Then
devote just sufficient time to GK. Not a
sufficient.
lot.
Sufficient time to, मतलब what is required, बस उतना ही. तो ऐसा नहीं कि
हाँ,
बहुत ज्यादा दे दिया, उसमें
हाँ,
होगा नहीं.
हाँ.
ठीक है. So my next question to you is, what worked for you? मतलब शिवांश ने ये said these things work for me completely. So what all things that actually worked for you that you might think that was unique to you?
Uh, People usually do not read a lot of novels. So that is something that was unique to me. Um, Moreover, I would say a mindset change helped me a lot.
Right.
I mean, till this January, I used to take a lot of times, and my attempts were somewhere in the range of 120s, 120 to 125. But then over a course of week, I somehow managed to increase them to 140 to 145.
Okay. Hmm.
Now, there was no very concrete way to do this, but I think I just had this in my mind that, okay, I will try to complete, say, the English and GR sections within 27 and 28 minutes and not give more time to that. I would not reread the passage no matter what. I
Hmm.
would answer the questions on the basis of what I understood in the first reading. So the regression was a problem with me till this January, but then that eventually solved.
Hmm. So basically, I think what if I could sum it up, you made a conscious effort. You made a conscious effort to increase the number of attempts. You made a conscious effort to increase your accuracy. You made a conscious effort on a few sections where, let's say, everybody says that English and CR should be done in around 30 minutes. You made a conscious effort. No, I have to wrap it up in around 27 minutes.
In fact, मेरे को जनवरी तक तो 35 मिनट्स लग जाते थे इंग्लिश सीआर में, और
हाँ,
उससे अटेम्प्ट्स और कम हो जाती थी. तो आई हैड टू एंश्योर कि दिस इज डन इन 27 or 28 minutes so that I have time for legal, I have time for mathematics.
So you are basically putting a little more time for legal, a little more time for mathematics, so that even in math, where you get 3-4 extra minutes, you'll be able to solve a lot of questions there.
Yeah.
Good, I think good strategy, because a lot of times you can reduce 2-3 minutes in your English section. You can reduce 2-3 minutes in your CR section. It might be risky to reduce those minutes in your legal section.
Yeah.
And in fact, math you might not be able to do unless you have been very good with mathematics since childhood. Good. I think तो all जो वहाँ पे 2-3 मिनट एक्स्ट्रा बचे वो अपन ने बाकी सारे sections में दिए. ठीक है. Good. So how are you feeling right now? As in all set to go to Bangalore?
Yes. Pretty
Packing हो गई?
happy, I would say.
हाँ.
हाँ.
Packing हो गई. So and you wrote LET or skipped it?
I did that.
You wrote LET. Acha, you wrote LET. You went all the way to write the examination.
Like now.
Lucknow. हाँ.
Yeah.
Cool. So how supportive was your family यहाँ पे, Shivansh, as in the
They were
last
very supportive.
2 years of your prep, as in I'm sure you
So
need to
my
have a
parents,
right balance at your home as well, because you were
yeah.
studying from home. And so बताओ, हाँ.
So yes, my parents were very supportive. In fact, in 2021, I had a lot of mocks where I did not score what I wanted to score. I did not get a lot of 100 pluses in 2021. So that usually made me sad that even though I'm doing a lot of things, but still I'm not able to score what I should be scoring. So they were all supportive. They played a very important role in my CLAT preparation journey.
And you have siblings as well?
No.
No, so you're a single child. So there was no one to trouble you at home.
No.
No one to trouble you at home. Fantastic. Cool, Shivansh. Anything else you would like to share with the CLAT aspirants? Or you have kind of put everything on record abhi tak?
This is pretty much it. I mean, the preparation journey is simple, but at times it can get boring, and yes, you just have to be consistent with the things.
I think another thing which I have understood from your from this conversation is it's very important to be extremely happy during the process of preparation. There will be times when you get bored. There will be times where you will get your moments of irritation, but you need to have a good group of friends. I'm sure you must have had a good group of friends to have regular conversations. So who all were there? I mean, anyone would you like to put on records who has kind of he or she has helped you with this preparation journey?
Most of my school friends, they are preparing for JE, but
Hmm.
they were still a very big help. Whenever I used to score low in mocks, I used to call one of them, rant about the mocks, rant about how bad things are going, but they would still calm me down, say कि
हाँ.
नहीं ठीक है तुम्हारा अच्छा ही होगा, चिंता मत करो, you're
Hmm.
studying so much. Then when we had these GK groups during my CLAT preparation journey, there was this 8-member GK group. where we discussed GK topics. So that group was a great help. That group had Harshit and a few other friends as well.
So,
Jenny.
huh.
So they all helped me a lot, especially in my GK preparation. I could ask questions on that group. Although I was not someone who used to type a lot in groups, but still, whatever we did was very helpful for me.
So how active were you with social media? Not much?
Not much.
Not
I'm
much. I
someone who stays away from social media
mean,
simply because I lack interest in all of that.
So what is your area of interest, Shivansh? Where do you spend most of your time, as in your hobbies or interests, apart from your preparation journey?
Meeting my friends, watching movies, listening to songs. This is what I used to do apart from preparing.
Apart from your preparations. Which all movies have you watched in the last 5 months?
In the last 5 months. Well, in the last 5 months, I focused more on web series rather than movies, but still, I was not able to watch Marvel movies in the last year, so I watched them in the last 5 months.
Okay.
Even though it should have been the opposite, but in the last 5 months, things were relatively chill for me because my attempts had increased. So I had more time to watch movies. I watched Marvel
Yes.
movies.
So coming back to what I was saying, I think it is very important to enjoy the preparation journey. You have to be happy with it. There kind of will be moments of boredom or something, but then you have to ignore them.
Not just moments, there are months of boredom.
Months of boredom. Months of boredom. Yes. Months of boredom. But you need to somehow figure out your route and figure out a way where you can just pull it back and be happy during the preparation process. ठीक है. ठीक है, Shivansh. Thank you so much, and it was fantastic talking to you. And extremely sorry for creating those mocks that made you reach a score of 65, 70, 75. But that is how we think that ultimately वो D-Day पे benefit होना चाहिए. So we never try to create a study material that will be helpful during your prep journey. But yes, eventually the day that matters is the day. So I'm sure you must have felt that CLAT was much, much easier than what you have been pushed through in the last many months. Chalo, cool. Shivansh, thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care of yourself. Yeah. Thanks. Bye.